Healing crystals, skincare routines, knitting a sweater, fitting in jeans. With Katie and Sarah, no need to worry, you're on a lady journey.
Oh my gosh, this is a cool one. Welcome to Lady Journey, everybody. Oh,
Hi, Lady Journey.
I am so thrilled for this episode because
What's this one?
This is my new
Are we at
swan
143?
song. Yeah, we're at
Awesome.
143. Welcome in, everybody.
I love a good swan. Every month I'm going into a swan song.
Oh yes,
And
it is.
it's like I gotta push harder.
Yes, I know. I feel like I'll be in a spiral, and then I like listen to one motivational podcast. I'm like, this man ran 350 miles without stopping, and he was just like peeing out the side of his shorts. And I'm like, I will achieve greatness. And then like an hour later, I'm like, nah, I'm tired.
I know you're like, I did one reel a few days ago. I'm good.
Yeah. But it is.
Belched. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Lady Journey.
That is such a lady journey. It's like, let's just accept ourselves.
Let's just be real.
Let's be real.
But yeah. No,
am
I go into self-pity.
Yes.
This is going to lead into Katie's lady journey.
Yeah.
I go into self-pity and I try not to wallow in it because it's not fun, but I go into cycles and then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm pulling a Thelma and Louise and I'm driving this car over the ditch.
Oh, yes. Yes. I know. It's such a sweet moment when you go from despair to anger.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm digging my way out.
I'm going to live out of spite. My art is going to annoy you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a tough one. Everybody's going through it this summer. Everybody's going through it, and we really appreciate you guys listening to us on our lady journeys and being on your lady journeys as well.
It is. Well, it's just like, I've been testing the waters, feeling everybody else out, and I've been in a lot of like rooms and groups and stuff, and I do feel like everybody's kind of on the same plate of like, I think we feel stagnant.
Yeah. It's like the pandemic ended and everyone was like, oh, things are going back to normal. And it was like, actually, now there's a horrific war going on where people are just being shelled daily.
Inflation's on the rise.
Inflation's
Things
on the rise.
are
The
really
gas
hard.
is like out of
Yeah.
control. And then now you also, they're like, we can't find good work. And it's like, they're only willing to pay you like 2 cents an hour. It's like,
That's what I'm like. We'll pay them more. But I mean, some of these jobs, I get it. Like Joe parks his car in a parking garage and they keep going through guys. And you're
Yeah.
like, of course. What adult man. Because they're only hiring. I'm like, where are all the high school students that need a part-time job of like just parking a car?
yeah.
Because I get these businesses, like it's not a job that should be paid a lot an hour. But
Yeah.
people need to have a livable wage.
You have to have a livable wage. And also, it's like, is it too much to ask to be treated with respect?
Yeah.
Because, I think what ends up happening, and this is like the capitalist business model, is that they just hire a psychotic person to manage people because that person is hungry for power in any area of their lives.
Yeah.
And then you have to deal with them micromanaging you, and that somehow becomes part of your job, is just like letting someone yell in your face
It's a nightmare.
and being like, that's just Tony.
Yeah, because generally also a lot of people that go into a management position are kind of like the dumbest and the laziest.
Yeah.
I'm generalizing, of course, which I love to do.
generalizing. Yeah, of course, yes. I mean, there's some amazing managers out there, and we applaud you, and we thank you for listening
Yeah.
to Lady Journey.
I
And
don't-
please join our Patreon.
But generally those people don't lasting too long because they end up moving up or doing a parallel shift over to another
Exactly.
company to get paid more.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's like the whole the whole system just attracts people that just want to tell other people what to do. It's like not healthy.
Yeah, I've done management for a little bit, and once I hit management, I had to leave that job because it made working so unbearable. Because what you're not like managing for profit, you are managing just to keep employees happy. And it's really hard to make employees happy when you're also limited in your resources. Like, I can't make executive decisions.
Yeah, you're like, I don't own the company. I can't just make it a good environment for you.
Yes, like I have to also answer to people. Like, I can't give you a raise. I do feel like you deserve one. But there would be times like a guy, I was managing at a hotel restaurant. It was food and beverage coordinator. And it would just be like, I'd get a text on a Friday night after I left being like, can I leave early? I just called Sharon the C word. And part of me is like, well, why do you get to leave work early? But I understand you cannot be calling people the C word. But I'm just like, that is what you're dealing with in management.
Yeah.
You're not making creative choices. You're just
manipulating other people into behaving well.
I felt like I was just wrangling feral cats the whole time. So it's hard.
It is hard. It is hard. Well,
we were going to go right in to I don't even know where we got. I'm sorry. This is part of my trait.
No,
my journey is to derail things.
No, I love it. And I embrace it. I celebrate it. I celebrate it. I was trying to think of who the person that we are doing the stone dedication is. And I remember now that it's James.
Hi, James.
So, James, I thank you so much for joining our Patreon. Just a reminder, anyone who joins our Patreon, you do get a special stone dedication in addition to many other perks. This is a rainbow onyx sphere. This is my little crystal ball.
I feel like that could do some real damage to a windshield.
Oh my gosh. I thought you were going to say like with magic powers. Because
the force is wild on this one.
It's really heavy. I feel it. It is.
It's
oh my gosh.
substantial.
It's probably like 5 pounds. I don't know weights. So I can't tell weights by my hand.
It's the size of a baby.
This is a stone that I got when I visited Rockstar when I was here in 2007 it was 2006. I came for spring break and I
remember you talked about that trip.
Yeah, that was a good one.
12 hours in a bus.
Yes. Actually, it was like 24.
Yeah.
It was a long. Oh my God. That was a fun episode. But yeah, so James, we want to thank you. You get the rainbow onyx. Isn't it gorgeous? And
cherish it.
Cherish it. And just a reminder, please subscribe to our
Patreon. You get lots of lovely bonus features and then a rock ceremony, which is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool.
What podcast is doing that?
What
Nobody.
Podcast
is Joe Rogan doing it? I don't think so.
No, he doesn't have the stamina for this. He doesn't have the mental stamina to have a collection of stones dating back to his teenage years.
Yeah. So,
but today our episode is, and this is why we were talking about work, feeling down, being in it, because I have decided my new self-help technique is just to go fully delusional. I have just decided, and I saw somebody on TikTok, this was a TikTok trend that kind of blew up where the guy was going around, he said, I've actually just decided I'm not reading the news. I'm not looking at the weather. I am just deluding myself in my mind, and I see it working for people too. Like I see people posting on Instagram, people say that like Instagram is always like this fake reflection of life and it never really is that. But I don't feel like I post that. I post like clips from the podcast where I'm talking about like my relatable vulnerability or bringing that to it as a comedian, and I'm not doing that anymore. I'm going to be posting that I have a huge announcement coming up.
And never announcing it.
I'm going to be posting
big things are happening.
Big things are happening. And I've decided that that's actually not that bad of a way to live, just deluding yourself that like fame, I am 2 steps away from fame. Like I saw a person at a show announce that they were going to do whatever it takes to be famous at a bar show. And I said, if you,
I when I see that, I'm always like this. I almost stand up and clap.
Yes. The belief you have in yourself, while undeserved, is inspiring on another level to me. And I've decided to fully embody it. I was telling you I have been in like a little bit of a spiral lately because...
we're all spiraling. It's the heat. We're the end of summer, and usually fall brings in new hope.
Yeah, and it is still so hot. It's so
I
hot.
forgot to bring the AC in here.
It's even hot right now.
It is
And then,
soupy.
of course, Mike has been gone, so I have been just alone.
Yes, you're in your thoughts.
In my thoughts, I've started a new therapy technique where I just talk into my phone and then I watch it back to see. That doesn't seem to be helping, but now I'm like up to like 100 therapy techniques that I'm just doing a day on myself. I'm gonna throw them all out the window, and I'm just gonna say, I am a goddess.
You
and
are
no one can stop me.
Absolutely. Like, we were talking about this before the podcast, when people are like, how's the podcast going? I'm not going to give you the numbers.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's great.
We have a great time.
Which is what we have decided collectively to say now.
Yes.
Because I was telling Sarah, like, people will be like, how's the podcast? I'm like, we are every day we're innovating. We are trying to, and I go
it's like how people describe marriage, where it's a lot of work.
Yes.
It's work and it's worth it.
Yes. and it's like, actually, ultimately, that is a mindset of struggle that I no longer wish to embody.
Yes.
Instead, I'm going to embody a mindset of just blind and arrogant self-confidence.
Absolutely. And it does work. I learned this like in Montreal. JFL, it's a big comedic festival that nobody knows about or gives a shit.
Yes.
But in your head, it's a big deal. It's a nice thing to check off. But you do these showcases in front of industry that nobody cares anymore. And it doesn't matter because we're all now making our own success.
Yeah.
Gatekeepers are not needed. So generally one to two people out of the showcase really pull ahead and have the set of the night. And most of us are just like, it was fine, but not like nothing amazing happened. And usually in the past, when somebody's like, how did it go? I'd be like, I would tell you my honest feelings about it, like I'm doing now.
Yes.
But what I did is I said, it was so much fun. I had a really great time. I don't think it benefits people to actually lay out the negative feeling that you have about it.
Yes.
You can share that with your partner or your dearest friends, but when a general public interviews you about it, never admit defeat.
No, because a lot of times the feeling of defeat is coming from your own psychotic mind.
Yes.
Because you just have a feeling, like I have a thing where a lot of times I'm comparing something to the best case or the worst case scenario. Like I go on stage and I have a great set. And maybe there's a special person there. It doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
But because I didn't have the best set of my life, then I perceive it as a failure. And it's like, actually what's happening is I am choosing to focus on the negative. And delusional people seem to be incapable of that.
Yes.
It's like, how about let's just focus on the positive? Because we've all seen that person come off stage where they barely kept their head above water.
Then they're like
the cock of the walk.
My favorite is somebody got off stage once, and I think it was Bonnie. I forgot her last name. I forgot. McFarlane. Bonnie McFarlane. I don't know why I forget her because she's one of my favorite comics.
She's amazing.
Somebody comes off stage and she's like, how was it? And they were like, well, I had a lot of fun. And she goes, well, did the audience? And you will see that a lot where somebody gets off stage that kind of maybe had a bomb.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're great. You're going to love them.
Yeah.
You're like, really?
Yeah. And people kind of...
And it's impressive.
It is impressive. And I think, like, I was of the mindset that the rule is you're always kind of vulnerable and honest about, like, what's happening.
I want authenticity, but I don't think authenticity works all of the time.
I don't think it works, and I don't think it works for me personally anymore.
Yeah. It's not your brand.
Crushing. Like, I'm going to... Like, I was with a comic recently, and they came up, and they sat down, and they said, oh, my God, I just had the best set of my life. And I was like, I have never had that feeling in my life.
No.
And is it because I've never had an incredible set? Can that be what it is? I've never done well.
No. I've thought about that when I'm like this. I think it's all failures.
Everything is a failure or a huge success.
It's your mindset.
It is totally your mindset. And as I was telling you previously, Sarah, I have been very I've really joined the cult of Steve Harvey.
I did not see this coming.
Didn't see it coming.
I did not see it coming.
But I have been listening to his motivational.
You didn't warn me. So how did you stumble across the motivational speakings of Steve Harvey?
I read this article in the New York Times recently, and it was about a performer, and he was cast in the new Jordan Peele film. And he was saying that his audition, he went into the audition, he made some different choices, he got a call back, and his mindset was really like, oh, I'm so grateful to get a call back. Like, even if this is the only thing that happens for me, I'm just happy to get the call back. And he said his friends were like, that is a completely messed up mindset.
That's my mindset.
Yeah. They were like, it's wrong. It is completely wrong. You go in there. You don't go in like, oh, thank you,
I'm so blessed
like
to get your scraps.
Yeah, I'm unworthy. They were like, you go in there like you deserve it, and you're worthy, and you have so much talent to give. And he said he was listening to the Steve Harvey motivational speeches. And by the way, there are like 7 on YouTube, and I cannot get enough. I cannot wait to get home, put my little, and just do an ab workout. And it's true. It's like it puts you in the mindset where Steve Harvey is like, you choose to be successful. You choose.
Yes.
And you do. And I think like there is also like something to that, even in like the present moment of like choosing to be like I'm not going to be this like, ugh, whatever. I didn't get it. I did fine. Whatever. Like, even if I did do fine, I'm like, I rocked it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm living on, and not even for like the purpose of like my own mental well-being or like my career success. It's like I am on another planet in terms of what is happening in my surroundings right now.
Yes.
I have the set of my life, and I will tell everyone I see.
Absolutely. Instead of just being like, focusing on the ones where you're like, I just have the biggest bomb. Like, I will no longer share my bombs publicly.
No, don't do it.
But you do. I think it is a very Kid Rock thing, and I think it does work. But I always have this fear that I overcompensate and I come in hot.
Yes.
To
That's
an audition where I'm like, how long is this going to last? Because I got a thing I got to go to in about 10 minutes. They're like, okay, well, that's insane.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to be a bother for you. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I was trying to get you to perceive that I was successful, that I've got other shit to go to.
Hi, you mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
It's so true. It's so true. On a regular basis, I'm like, I do not know how to act in the world in any situation. Where it's like, am I ever hitting the right mark? I'm either like, hi. Anyone here ready to party? At like a board meeting, or I'm like, hello. Is it okay if I sit here? You know?
No, I see a thing online being like, because I came in and I was authentic, and I'm like, authentic. All right, great.
Yes,
I will share.
yes.
I will be authentic. And then I'm just delving into, I'm giving you secrets to my life. And then they're like, well, she crossed boundaries with us on that one.
Yeah.
And then you get the one where like, come in there and you're a rock star. And then I'm just throwing out furniture out the window. And they're like, that's too much, rock star. So yes, I don't know. I don't think I'm ever hitting it on the mark. I don't know how to do this.
Well, let me say this though, because the one thing which I did also read from this article is that when something goes well because of reasons that may be out of your control, you always attribute it to you did the right thing, you know?
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error. And sometimes I
yeah.
think I'm reading the wrong signs of why it went well.
Yes, it's true. It's like you can't really know. Like sometimes somebody might love you because you look like their cousin.
Exactly.
And they're like, that's my cousin, you know? And it's like, oh, at that point, it doesn't matter that I was listening to Steve Harvey every night, you know?
I'm going to start listening to Steve Harvey.
Because it goes into like magical thinking where you're like, all I have to do is a spell.
Yes. Well, but then I remember him on Oprah, and then sometimes when I reflect back on some of the stuff he would say on Oprah, you're like, fucking Steve Harvey. Like, I'm not going into the kitchen because he can have some archaic beliefs in the relationship department. Take what you need. Yeah. Leave the rest.
Family Feud.
You
know, he's causing one. He is causing one with his statements.
He is a delight on Family Feud. When he gets an answer that he cannot believe, and that he has to walk to the other side of the room. Pure joy. Pure joy. I love it. It's the best thing on earth.
He's a born performer, and I love to pair that silliness with like a hardcore psychotic motivation. Because I also have been like, you know, I am kind of joking about the delusional nature, but not really.
But I know what you mean.
But also getting yourself into a delusion of like, everything is at my fingertips and I am just going to enjoy the process of being successful every day. I am successful and I'm enjoying my life, and everything I do, everything I touch like turns to gold. And like, why wouldn't I think that?
Yeah.
You know?
And that you have a good eye and ear for comedy.
And it just makes the day-to-day fun, and it actually motivates you to do tasks where you're like, well, you know, like, why would I do this if it's not going to get me anywhere? It's like, no, it is. I'm putting one foot after the other, and I'm going to be rich.
I know, but I try to, I feel like I just lost train of thought, but
no, that's okay.
The heat. What was I thinking? Shit. What were you saying? Just saying?
No, that's okay. I think we should put a button on this one.
You think we should?
I think we should,
okay.
Because I want to move on, and that was my journey.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Back to the journey. It's to enjoy the journey.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say.
Enjoy the journey. And I was just listening to something else too that was talking about like, it's scientifically proven that dopamine, which is like my brain drug of choice, I think, like that's what gets released when you enjoy the process of effort. It's not actually, you think you're going to be so happy when you get this certain thing that you want. And then you get it and you're like, oh, it doesn't even ever bring it. It's like just enjoying the process and feeling like you're, you know, awesome.
Yeah.
Like that's it.
That's it.
That's the journey.
Yeah. And just to be connected with your friends and family.
Yes. Also, well,
it gets lonely out there.
But I'm not doing that anymore because if they don't give me the respect I deserve, they're out.
Well, I like having it end on that note.
Yeah.
You heard it.
You heard it here first, Mom. But your journey, I'm really thrilled about your journey because this is something that we've never talked about on the show before.
No, but I feel like it's part of the feminine energy. But guys are into this too, and I am all for men wearing this. It's jewelry.
It's jewelry, and more so now. I notice guys really love a pearl necklace now,
which is interesting.
It is such an interesting Gen Z trend for it's not considered feminine, the pearl necklace. It's very like the puka shells of 2022.
Yes, it is the puka.
Yeah.
Because it's from the sea.
It's from the sea. Guys love it. It's a long, it's like a shorter, kind of more like a choker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to see this out in the wild.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I get into jewelry because I'm just tired of like buying a lot of stuff, and I feel like jewelry you can get on a trip.
Yes.
And it reminds me of like where I was and the memories from that. I also feel like anytime somebody buys me jewelry, even if it's not my style, I always end up loving it because it came from a person that I love.
Absolutely.
And so I get to wear it. And then also like it because it's a great, I like basics.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to just stick to basics, but you can always get a new piece of jewelry, and it's not like even costume jewelry, which is like nice on the lower end, can really change up an outfit and like make you feel excited to wear something.
Absolutely.
And then here's reasons. I went online to find out what people were asking about jewelry, and a lot of it was like, why is it the best gift? It's always an element of surprise, I think.
Yes.
It's sustainable. Meaning like, it's also like, because a lot of it's like
sweater, it's going to wear out. You're going to throw out.
You can have it for a long period of time. And then if it goes out of style, you can put it away and it generally doesn't take up a lot of space.
Yes. It's a great gift.
It's a great gift.
And you love it when someone picks out jewelry for you because it's like the thought that goes into selecting something. It's like you're saying, even if it isn't your style, you're like, oh my gosh, that's what this person thinks my style is.
And I love that.
It's so charming.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I love it.
And then every now and then, like sometimes that item that you wasn't really necessarily your style is like somehow later on you're like, that's a fun, funky thing to wear.
Totally.
Oh, so and then I love like I like everyday jewelry.
Yeah.
So things I cannot feel.
Yes, same.
So light necklaces, although these ones I'm always detangling, but these ones I never know that I have them on, so I don't ever take them off.
Yes. Yeah, you're really good at the necklace layering trend.
It's pretty easy. You stick to the
Yeah.
I go for the quaint. I would consider it the French style.
It's very French.
I tried. I don't think I've ever been into the statement necklaces, but every now and then I see a woman rocking it, and I'm like, yes, that looks great on you, but it's actually a high commitment to come in with a statement necklace.
Yeah, I used to have I went through a big phase in my early 20s where I was really into like gigantic gem pendants.
Yes.
And I still have them. I don't really ever get them out anymore because it's just not me anymore to just have like a huge chunk of turquoise or the amber, right?
Just coming in.
Yeah, hi. Exactly. Yeah, and then it's like causing back pain. You're just acting like nothing is amiss, and you have a gigantic.
Yes.
Like
I got gifted a huge gold link chain necklace.
Oh wow.
And I thought I could pull it off, but I feel like looking back at the end of the night, I got a lot of like, I'm not really listening to you right now because you've got a huge chunk of jewelry around your neck.
Yeah, it's hard to be nonchalant when you have that statement. I feel like statement pieces.
You have to have a personality. Like you have to be a lady that owns an art gallery.
Yeah.
Or an eccentric old white lady.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you do have to really commit to it as your brand. You know, it's like if you're going to wear like I saw this person recently, and she was wearing it was a young lady. She had like casual jeans, casual top, and just 14 different necklaces. And it was like, I get it. It's a vibe. I get it. But what is the vibe actually, though?
Yeah,
because
Mr. T.
Yes, exactly. And like one of the necklaces, like it had like baby doll parts on it, you know. And it's just like, okay, like it's a certain aesthetic, but I prefer a more simple look with the jewelry.
Well, especially like it's probably gonna sound sexist, but I think this can also apply to men. But the thing is, I don't see a lot of men in certain aspects. If you're not in a creative field and you come in with like tons of stuff around you, it's in a weird way hard to take you seriously.
It is, because it's like I can't listen to what you're saying because I can just picture you slowly putting on 18 necklaces.
Or that maybe this would work if you fronted a funk band.
Yeah. It's not a work look.
Well, it's like I've seen that with high fashion, like in editorials, and they'll have like a lady going to work in a big flouncy baby doll dress, and you're in a purse that holds a pill.
Yes, yeah.
And you're like, if she showed up into a business meeting and was like, I have ideas.
Hello. Yeah.
She's not selling shit that day. Unless it's at the creative field. You do get away with a little bit more on that.
There's an interesting element of women's fashion that I don't think is talked about that's infantilizing. You know, it's like the hats with the snowball on top. It's like, why
the major poofy princess sleeves,
like the princess, the baby doll dress. I think it's like that is kind of what it is. It's like I'm Shirley Temple, you know, and it's like if you are drawn to that for the aesthetic purpose, like you know, it's no judgment on the fashion, because we made an enemy on the Instagram recently because on our Chugi episode
we went too general.
Yes, we really did, and so we apologize because that's who we are.
Anyone was offended by that?
Anyone was offended, so sorry, but it's something interesting to note. And I had a tweet about this like a few years ago about like girls. This was a trend that I was really into years ago. It was like the big bow headband.
Yeah,
and it's like
it can look cute.
It can
in
look
an
really
editorial.
Cute. It's like very kind of like, Audrey Hepburn and
Whimsical. Go to a party like that or
whimsical,
something.
But it is like this little girl fashion, and it's like, well, why aren't there any dudes out there with like the propeller hat? You know, it's like
or little boys
just don't
suspender
see
shorts.
it. Yeah, like I'm a little girl. It's like,
yeah.
Anyway, so that's how I feel about some of those.
Yes, some of those pieces, the too big, sometimes it can get a little wild. So I just stick to the things that I cannot feel. I love big rings, but if I can feel it on my hands, it's uncomfortable.
It's only tiny for me. Like I do have this ring, and I did get this on a trip. Actually, I got this when I went to Montreal.
I love
did
it.
JFL, and I just wanted something simple that I was just like, I want something simple that I could just wear every day. And I found it at a little street. You know, it was like a little handmade thing.
Yeah.
It's lasted forever. And this is the type of stuff I love where I'm like, I don't take it off in the shower. You know,
Yes.
and I love like a little slight necklace too. That's like just a little something to help me look like put together.
Yeah. I think
every
it does.
day.
It does add a nice touch. People notice it. It is fun when you travel.
Yes.
You can travel with it lightly. Like 'cause when you buy regular clothes, you're like, oh no, now I have to get a whole suitcase
Right.
to get this. But you can always
It's a perfect-
stash a
perfect
little piece of
purchase.
jewelry. Exactly.
I was in Denver a couple of years ago, and I got everybody in my family. I was at a gorgeous street bazaar. I got everybody in my family these incredible, they were pendants made from the wings of butterflies that had died of natural causes. Do not come for me. Do not come for me. They had fallen down on the ground at a sanctuary. They were dead. Okay. But they were so gorgeous. And I was like, oh my gosh, where do you find that? It's just like I found it, and it was almost as fun for me to buy it as it was like for people to get it as a gift. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's like a little discovery, a little treasure.
Yeah, and a lot of times that stuff isn't like super expensive, especially if you're going to find like a street vendor that does their own personal
Yeah.
design. So it's a nice little gift, and a lot of the times like they only made a few, or each one looks different because they're
Yes.
handmade.
Totally
so they're
unique.
like kind of one of a kind. That I was gonna also go through, like there was 5 trends for 2022.
Oh, yes. I love it. Jewelry trends.
So light chain links
Interesting.
Is-
Interesting.
and any kind of metal. So like there's that fishbone one that everybody really likes that I have
Yeah.
one right now.
that I
The
love.
thicker one right here.
I love the thicker one. I really wanted to get one last year when I was
And-
in Portland. I had my eye on one, and I almost got it. But I
Yeah.
was like, I just wasn't sure if I was willing to commit to it.
I know, but it's not. You can find these as like cost like at Claire's, so they're not
yeah.
expensive. Or you can go to like there's a lot of like in Astoria like jewelry pawn stores. I actually like shopping there because you can find some pieces that aren't expensive. Like I got this watch that
Oh,
doesn't
cute.
work, but I call it a vanity watch.
Yeah, it's like, what are you going to be doing? Trying to read it? Counting 5, 10, 15, 20?
I
You
know,
Who,
like,
who can read it?
I'm on my phone 24/7. I know what
I
time
love
it is.
that. That's great. And
Um,
it's pawn shop sustainable too.
Sustainable, and they have all these kinds of chains at reasonably priced. So people, those are big. And then like, what was the other one? Oh, like the one was called Candy Raver style.
Ooh, okay.
And I've seen that. They're like, some of them are expensive, but you can find like cheap stuff. Like I like colorful beads.
oh, like
the
that's
lacquer.
like the little, it looks like a candy necklace or
Yes.
something. Yeah, okay.
Anything like brightly kind of charmed. And then that was the other category is like, I love charms.
Yeah.
And you can always, I like buying them for the necklaces, but I do have a charm bracelet that I really like, but I can't ever wear it because it's on stage if you're using the mic.
too
it's just
jingly. Yeah.
Too jingly.
Yeah.
I remember a girl wearing a charm bracelet to work, and it was just, you could hear it hit the desk the
Oh,
whole time, and you're
no,
like,
that would-
impractical.
That would drive me insane.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's whimsical. But the charm, you can also like, you can buy a whole bunch. You can buy them wherever you go on trips, and they're like just nice reminders.
I kind of like that because that's more like less of a statement piece. It sounds like a more between a statement piece and like the minimalist.
Yes.
Because I like something that is like a little out of the ordinary, but nothing that's like, look at me.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll just be like eccentric, and you can just wear them either on your bracelet or on your necklace.
That's great.
But
yeah.
I'm on a huge jewelry journey, and I have one piece that I really, really want.
the
I've-
bracelet.
The
oh my
Elsa
gosh.
Peretti bone cuff. I would go for gold, but we're looking at $23,000. I have
goodness.
found a silver one on Poshmark for $1,000. I cannot buy it, but if I ever come into lottery money,
Yes.
I will be decadent, and that is my big get.
Oh, I love
My
it.
big get. It's at Tiffany's if you guys want to look at it
Just
online,
look at it.
or if you want to buy me it.
Yes, send it to us. We'll give you the address of the studio.
Of the studio, yes.
I know. I love stuff like that where you look at it. Like I have looked, of course, on like, you know, the different ring stores at Cartier.
Yes.
And
you
see,
want
like,
it
a
all
little,
of a sudden.
You know, it's something about the fact that it costs a lot of money that it looks the exact same as something that's from like Blue Nile, you know, but
Yeah.
you're like, but I will only have that one.
I must have that piece. Well, here's the reason why I'm still fixated on that piece is I have looked up inexpensive dupes or something close to it, and I haven't seen it. So if you guys do see a dupe, let me know.
Yeah.
But I totally, like, I also want to get the square Cartier watch with the leather band.
Ooh.
But there's so many inexpensive brands that come close to it that I did get something like it, and I found a secondhand one, and then I just replaced the band.
Oh,
So you-
nice.
If you like expensive jewelry, go look at the pieces that you like. That's the thing that I do love about jewelry. You can find the inexpensive versions.
Yeah, because here's the thing, no one knows.
no one knows. And also, do you really want to be walking around with a piece that costs $23,000?
It's like that. It's like
It's going to get stolen.
It's like what we were talking about in a previous episode about how, you know, this is like a big thing that's come to light recently about how these like luxury brands are just for middle class people that to make them feel wealthy. It's like it's the same thing, you know.
It's the same thing, and it's a lot of the times from the same manufacturer. Like
Yeah.
all these high-end brands like Louis Vuitton and Chanel are getting so much shit because their stuff, especially their costume jewelry, it's just cheap shit.
Yeah, it's not like an investment piece,
Yeah.
you know. It's like that is the thing about, you know, getting something secondhand. You're having that thrill of putting it together yourself,
Yeah.
and you know, it's like you want to look great, you want the look, and that's what it's about.
It is. It's all about the journey.
Curating your jewelry experience.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask you, what do you think about like diamonds and stones and like the, you know, the blood diamonds and things like that?
Well, I'm against blood diamonds. A
I'm
hard stance. I'm for
What's
it.
your thought on them forcing the kids to mine them and hurting them? Well, I know it's like the kind of thing where you're out at like Zales or whatever, and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, oh, like this is nice, but then you think about it and you're like, I don't really know like where this came from, like what, and then other things it will be like, oh, this is sustainable. It's like, well, that's just a word that you're slapping onto this with no, you know, like that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. I don't know how to authenticate how or where a diamond comes from, but I
Yeah.
have to tell you, diamonds and jewels have never been anything that I have desired.
Yeah,
I would just be happy with a Swarovski crystal,
yeah,
which I know those are as expensive, but they're not as expensive.
yeah.
There are pieces that I've seen, but I'm total that have actual jewels that look so pretty. And that was another in the trends for 2022. They called it Regency Core, which was basically just like jewel encrusted.
Oh my gosh, I feel something inside of me that would previously be like that's tacky, but now it's like it's socially acceptable, so I love it now.
Yeah,
Regency
over the top.
core.
Dipping. Well, like,
Ugh.
you watch those Marilyn Monroe where like when you see like celebrities on the red carpet when they're a movie premiere or the Oscars,
Yeah.
every now and then you do see like a diamond necklace that you're like, that is stunning. But the
So
idea
stunning.
of spending like, who's got $100,000?
Who's got
honestly?
$100,000? Who knows where it comes from? And just get the crystal one because it's about the look.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you see that look, and those are either rented or it's rhinestones. It's
Yeah.
all rhinestones, you know? It's like
But-
we think that people are rich because they're celebrities.
Yeah,
they're
but
just,
they're
like,
all
fooling
renting
us.
it.
Yeah.
And then also those people have bodyguards around them
Yeah.
the whole time, making sure that nothing happens to it. I do love going whenever like a lot of museums do like jewelry
Oh, I
exhibits,
love
and that's always
that.
fun. And I've heard there's jewelry exhibits that you can go to because there's so many independent jewelry makers out there that make really great.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's really not that hard to just get molds and just pour metal into it.
Right. I used to, when I was in college, I worked for a family. I would tutor their daughter, and I would spend time with her, and ended up just getting like really close. And they owned a jewelry business, and they designed all of their jewelry. They designed some really cool stuff, but most of the pieces that they would do, from what I remember, is they had like really high-end clients that they would like. They had this really cool creative business that they would like design the jewelry for them. And I mean, this is years and years ago, but I do remember them saying that any diamond, like, you have no idea, there's no way to know where diamonds come from.
I also, they're plentiful.
They're plentiful. They're, I think I would like to look up the history of blood diamonds, maybe get it in the next episode, because it's like, well, what even is happening? I mean, I can't afford diamonds, so there's not really a problem for me.
I never have, where I'm not going into that world of like, I don't know, is this right? What I'm doing?
Yeah. Oh no, should I be buying an 8-carat diamond right now? It feels like it was a problem, and then there was the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and now it's like everything's fine.
Yeah.
So it's either still a problem and we don't care, or it's been resolved.
Well, it's like what we always do. I'm always like, did we ever free Tibet?
I know. They're
like,
like,
I don't know.
Meanwhile, we're just like, sorry, with my life.
On with my life. Now it's Wales.
Yeah.
You know what I do like? I do like turquoise jewelry. And I think of Rachel Feinstein always joking about her mom just like love.
And her menopausal cape.
Jewelry, yes.
Oh, I love it. I'm obsessed with her.
I do enjoy when I go on a vacation trip to
Santa Fe.
Santa Fe. Not that I'm
Oh
going
my
there all
God.
the time, but like in Texas, and a lot of times you're just traveling in the West, you will stumble across turquoise silver jewelry. And
It is
I love
so hard to not buy turquoise when you see it. You just want to swim in it.
The blue.
The blue is so gorgeous, and I love different types of turquoise too. And turquoise is a stone that's like, actually, it's like inexpensive enough that you could be like, oh, like I can have some turquoise. Like I could buy like a few strands. It's not like a diamond where you're like, oh, well, whatever. That's just not me. But turquoise, I remember a fun fact about it, that the Native Americans said that it was really special because it was the same color as the sky. Isn't that a fun fact? I know, it's just so beautiful.
The color is great. It's one of my favorite jewels.
I love the marbled
stones.
turquoise too.
Even when it has that like crack in it.
Oh, love it.
So good. But I will I'm going to share with you a jewelry piece that I've never been on board, and I've never seen a piece that's changed my mind.
Oh yes.
I have to say pearls. Not into. I feel like they age me.
Now.
But you're not wearing.
Oh, the strand.
It's the strand. I think of
hear
Barbara
what you're
Bush.
saying. I hear what you're saying.
I feel like when I show up, I've never seen
Wasp.
A cool way showing up to it as like it's punk rock or something.
Absolutely. No, I am fully on board. It's something about the strand of pearls. It ages you. It makes you look waspy. And it's not even. I have never seen a strand of pearls worn where it didn't just like scream like exactly like Clinton's.
Yeah,
you know, it is. We got a necklace for my mom. It was a pearl necklace a few years ago, and I was really proud of it. I helped pick it out, and it was not a strand. It was like pearls and then large chain links. So it was like a pearl, a chain.
It had some edge.
It was. I thought it was so like contemporary looking. Like, because everyone wants to have like the pearl necklace. You know, it's like meanwhile like they're like poking the clams or whatever, and that's like horrific because everyone needs it. But everybody wants to have that, but it's like why? Why even do you want to have it? Is it because you like the look? Is it because you just feel it? It's a status symbol, whatever,
Yeah, or is it it's like kind of hard to get? Somebody has to hold their breath for 100 meters to go get it or something crazy like that. Like sometimes I wonder, do we ever question if we like this, or we just like to know how hard it is to get it, or the time that is put into it? Because I do appreciate something cool of taking sand and it's just being slimed so much that it turns into a nice shiny piece.
Yeah.
But again, like I think it's generational. It feels like pearls never have been. I think they've tried it. I've seen it recently on the blogs. Like they're trying to make it look cool, but I still have not seen a full pearl strand
Yeah.
that looks cool to me. I've seen rings that have pulled it off.
Or like some bracelets, or like Mikimoto. I mean, they're one of my favorite companies just to look. I mean, Mikimoto is like the preeminent pearl company in the world. It's a Japanese company, and they do the strands, they do different colors of pearls, but they also do these incredible like bracelets, these other necklaces that you're like, oh my gosh, these are just so gorgeous. And the quality of the Mikimoto too, you would just appreciate that it's really done as like an art form and not this like fast fashion, like a rich person just needs a $400 like strand of pearls, like just throw it at them. Like it's such a gorgeous, elegant brand.
Yeah.
And I do like the longer pearl necklace where it's like
a
here and
flapper?
there. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the flapper one, or like tied in a knot. I think like something like that I've always found to be like really elegant. Like, but yeah, the collar length, it is just so.
I just think Barbara Bush
saying that AIDS doesn't exist. And you're like, what? It's just
I know,
out
like,
of touch first lady.
the most heinous things have been said while wearing pearls.
Yeah, yes. That's our quote for the episode.
That's our lady journey.
Lady journey.
But yeah, share us jewelry.
Share us.
Or if you've seen a
Yeah.
great pearl necklace that you're like, Sarah, you were absolutely wrong on
You're
this.
out of your freaking mind.
Prove me wrong, because I
Yes.
want to see it.
Yes, tell us what's going on with your life and your jewels.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Lady journey.
Lady journey.